Welcome to the Cryptonometron, and today I'm going to do an ICO review. It's CanYa. Now this was chosen by my Twitter followers who voted in my poll. I'll be doing a poll every so often to see what you want me to review, or you can post in the comments below. If there's anything that interests you and you can't find enough information about it, let me know and I'll try and get round to it. So what is CanYa? Well, CanYa is the world's best blockchain-powered marketplace of services. Their words, not mine. A global peer-to-peer marketplace of services powered by the blockchain. And CanYa gives you the freedom to hire local experts and skilled professionals anywhere in the world. Now, why are they wanting to do an ICO? Well, their recently launched working and feature-rich platform in the home and digital services industry. The platform is currently made up of mature iOS and Android apps to find, book, pay and review service providers. A web app is in beta. Exchanges are currently available in Australian fiat through licensed third parties. So they already have an app being used, it has been beta tested, and now they want to apply the blockchain technology. So who are their competitors? Airtasker, TaskRabbit and ZipRecruiter were three that came up in a Google search, but none are using blockchain technology as far as I'm aware. So CanYa Coin, they want to get a head start on everybody else. So what are the problems they intend to solve? Well, the services are not peer-to-peer. You often have to use third party to get the services you need. Current services don't deliver the best experience for the users. I would say that's an understatement. It's very difficult to hire people, especially when you're using apps. If you can't speak to them directly, it makes it very difficult and confusing for a lot of people. And the best service providers don't always get the most work, so it doesn't work as a meritocracy. The best service providers don't get to charge the most for their work either. And it's not yet a seamless experience between the digital world and the real one. So cryptos have less than 0.1% of the user base, trading volume and liquidity of fiat counterparts. There's low availability of crypto-enabled merchants. There is a steep learning curve associated with acquiring and spending cryptocurrencies. And there are fees for paying with cryptos. Now, how are they going to address all these problems? Well, first of all, they're going to use blockchain technology. They're also going to make the payments decentralized, autonomous, and instantly global. Likewise, with curation, arbitration, storage, and eventually even computation. And they're going to make the CanYa marketplace infrastructure truly peer-to-peer. So it will revolutionize the service providers industry. They're also going to build an incredibly easy, delightful and accessible tool to pay for services with crypto. They're going to allow a single medium of trustless exchange between the users. They're going to remove fees and cryptocurrency volatility. And they're going to empower the wider cryptocurrency ecosystem. So what are the core features? Well, the CanYa platform, the app itself, is a fully featured marketplace of peer-to-peer services that consists of Apple and Android apps and a beta web app. The CanYa platform includes an inbuilt chat, voice over internet protocol, calendar, alerts, payments, listing management, reviews, quotes, direct bookings, detailed pricing, job broadcasts, multi-user jobs, and more features. So as we can see, it's quite feature-rich, which will enhance the user experience. So the core features as far as the clients are concerned, the people that are booking the services, that is, as a client, you can load your CanYa wallet with CanYa Coin and a variety of cryptocurrencies. You can instantly connect and pay for services local and globally with no fees. So an example of a local provider would be a gardener or a plumber that comes to your house, and globally maybe somebody that you want to design a website or translate a document or something like that. It doesn't necessarily need to be somebody that's based locally. And users can help curate and verify new service providers by reviewing them. Therefore, they can add value to the ecosystem. So for the service providers, the core features for them will be they can earn CanYa Coin for their skills and services. They can spend the CanYa coin in the app or exchange it and send it back immediately to a Bitcoin or Ethereum wallet, for example. And as a service provider, they can freely advertise the skills and services to a micro, local, and a global marketplace, or pay a monthly subscription for enhanced feature status, which is quite interesting. And the way CanYa works, it means it's a meritocracy, meaning the best service providers will get rewarded, so they will get the most exposure and they'll also get the most work, and therefore they can also charge more for the work as well. So an example of a use case would be David, who is a plumber from Melbourne, Australia, and I picked this up off the white paper. Please always read the white paper, do your own research, don't just go off my videos. There are many things in the paper that I can't cover, but a lot of it I just take and put into my presentation, so a lot of people don't bother to read it, which they really should if they're investing. But this is a use case scenario lifted directly from the white paper. So we've got David, and he's a big believer in cryptocurrency, and he wants to grow his client base. He loves referring his existing clients to CanYa to receive payments in crypto. And CanYa's multi-user job feature makes it easy for property tenants to book and review David, whilst their property owners pay remotely in the CAN token once the job is complete and to their satisfaction. So very good. Now the platform itself has been beta launched already in Darwin in late December 2016. And then it was soft launched in a bigger city, Adelaide, in South Australia in January 2017. Now, it has been successfully tested, it is in a market and it has an existing user base, so we know it works. We know there is a demand for this kind of app, so that's half the battle really. The question will be, can the blockchain on top of the app assist with the growth and the development of the service? And I think it possibly can, because it's a good idea. So the services the app and the CanYa platform will provide are peer-to-peer. So it's a peer-to-peer platform where clients can choose and interact directly with the person who will be providing the service, instead of a third party. So no middlemen, no people putting you in touch with their friend. Oh, my friend's a plumber, my friend's a joiner, my friend's a brickie. They can go straight on the app and find the people immediately, which will be quick, more efficient, and obviously cheaper. And using smart contracts, the platform will provide a trustless, secure, and fast payment service with an escrow. So if the job is not completed to your satisfaction, if you're a client, you can get your money back. There'll be dispute resolution and everything. So it's service agnostic, meaning it will apply to a vast array of different services. As I mentioned before, can be global or local, from professional licensed services that are just casual per hour services. So you could even advertise yourself as a labourer with no particular skill, a handyman, for example, on the app. So it has real use for everybody. Now, it currently has over 200 services and 400 different skills listed for providers. All have been submitted by the users, and CanYa includes features that make it flexible for mobile services, brick and mortar services, one-time jobs, recurring and group bookings. So it covers everything, really the whole spectrum of services that you need provided. Now, the content is user generated, and this means it's rapidly scalable. It means providers can add their listings, for example, add further skills, further services, and users themselves can request further services, skills that are not available. Maybe they search for something that's not there, they can request that. So everybody that uses it has a contribution to the system, to the platform. Now, it is self-curating, obviously, and it is self-balancing. And being a meritocracy, it is self-curating. So providers with good reviews will see more exposure, and therefore they'll get more work, and good providers will see higher demand and can afford to start charging higher rates. And this will obviously go back into the system. If they find it of value, they'll be willing to pay for the subscription. They'll be willing to dedicate more time to getting themselves noticed on the CanYa platform, which in turn it's a cycle. And that will improve the user experience as well. So CanYa will automatically assess and rank providers on 15 different metrics. New providers are given a 7-day exposure boost to ensure they can penetrate an established provider base. So if you just come onto the system, you will get a little bit of a boost so you can get going. I think that's important. Nobody wants to start. It's like when I started doing videos on YouTube, it's awful soul destroying with no subscribers, nobody watching your videos, no views. It's hard to get a step up the ladder. It gets easier if you get exposure. And all providers are given the opportunity to continually improve their profile and behavior to ensure maximum exposure. As I said, the more you do, the more you'll get rewarded and the more benefit it will be for yourself and the user in the end. So it's an end-to-end solution. It provides the discovery, the engagement, the booking, the job tracking, the payment, the receipt issuance, and the review at the end of the process. It also includes the free messaging service, the voice calling, and free quote and invoice service. So everything can be done within the app. You don't need to step outside the app at all. So this is quite interesting. And I like this feature because you'll be able to do everything you need. You won't need to come out of the app and write down phone numbers, and you can do everything within one platform, which I think is important because as the technology increases, as you've got more apps on your phone, as you've got more apps on your device, it becomes more confusing and more annoying to start using loads of different things. So having it all in one platform will certainly make the user experience a lot better. So they're going to implement machine learning. So they say the worst experience with hiring services is usually caused from hiring the wrong service. That can be true. CanYa is planning on using thousands of job requests processed in the platform together with the listed skills and descriptions to train machine learning algorithms to better match job requests with the right providers and to extract the right information from the users easily. In the future, they say, users will simply ask the platform for help and the right providers are immediately notified. And this will vastly improve the experience of the user on the platform. So they've already built and implemented a media-rich messaging service native to the app, which I just mentioned would be quite important, as you can discuss with your service provider and client over the app itself. And it sees thousands of messages already sent between users each week, right? So CanYa is in the early stages of building a smart chatbot to engage the users and providers. And this chat service will be used to process job requests as well as helping providers manage their schedule. So you won't have to be constantly tapping on your phone. The smart bot will answer the most commonly asked questions. For example, the user says, can you do this? Can you do that? Do you provide this service? You can put your answers in beforehand and the smart chatbot will give the answer to the user. And if it's something that the user still wants to, or hasn't been answered correctly, user still wants to know, then you can obviously have the option to add your answer manually later on. So nice feature. So what about the smart contracts? Well, Ethereum smart contracts will provide the trustless hedged escrow system which aims to protect the cryptocurrency value for the users, as well as processing the platform revenue stream and disseminating rewards for incentivized network effects. Sounds very complicated. Basically all they're saying is they're going to use Ethereum smart contracts so that the users are protected and they will pay out the revenue, and they will also have a reward system. That's all that means. So let's give an example of a smart contract. For example, a client books a service provider, example a plumber, for $100 and sends his crypto to a smart contract. Well, immediately an equivalent of $100 from the store of value base crypto is collected in a hedge contract. The provider, the plumber, completes the job, fixes the pipe, for example, and sends the invoice for $100. And if the job's done to satisfaction, then the client will just release the payment and the payment comes out of escrow and goes to the plumber. Dead easy. Now, for example, if the value due to volatility or another factor, say the job took more time or was more expensive and the invoice was reduced or increased, then the value, say the value decreased, for example, to $90 from $100, then the $10 is exchanged from the hedge to pay the provider. If the value of the escrow increased to $110, $10 is exchanged out to maintain the $100 invoice. So that's already incorporated into the smart contract. As we can see here, this is an example, an infographic of how the client dispute system is going to work. So if the client has a problem with the service provider not doing the job up to his satisfaction, then there will be a dispute resolution system that will ensure that either the provider completes the job as specified or the client receives the money back. So there will be trustless payment automation, obviously. The smart contracts allow for this, so essentially the whole payment system will be automated. So you don't have to have any trust. You know that your currency is protected. So if you book the service, for example, you know that if it isn't done correctly, you're going to get your crypto back. And that's the beauty about implementing this trustless system, that everybody, as long as they act in the best possible manner with the best of intentions, then everybody's protected. And the good thing as well is if service providers are not up to scratch, then that will be recognized and they won't get the work. So it will eliminate the bad apples. So there is an option, as I mentioned before, for a provider to amend the invoice. As I said, if it's under $90 or under $100, sorry, reduces it to $90, or he needs to charge a little bit extra for whatever reason, the smart contract will allow the correct amount to be paid. And this is the way the asset contract works. Now, the asset contract is basically a central contract to distribute the tokens. The fees for the monthly subscriptions will go into the asset contract, as will the transaction fees for using the system. Transaction fees, I believe, are 1%. Now, all this revenue goes into the asset contract and is divided roughly into three. CanYa will take 33%. 33% will go back into the reward pool, and 34% will be burned. And the burning works to stabilize and also reduce the likelihood of volatility within the currency. So that's a smart thing to do, I think. And as I mentioned, providers can opt to pay a monthly subscription in CAN tokens for the featured status. So being featured means securing the top position, the greatest exposure, the access to most work, priority notifications, and many other features. But to stay true to the meritocracy principle, multiple featured providers are still ranked according to their profile points. So you still have to perform. You still have to do a good job to whatever service you're providing. Otherwise, your reputation will be affected, and just merely paying for the featured service won't allow you to get the most work. Transaction fees, as I said, are 1%. And every payment made out in the platform will be deducted from the provider's payout. And compared to Uber, for example, this is up to 25 times lower. So it's very cheap to use the system. The proceeds from the transaction fee are sent to the asset contract, as we just explained. So the team have built a native reward system that will incentivize the following user behavior. So it will encourage users to sign up and use the platform because they're getting rewarded for using it, which is good. It will also have referral bonuses, so it will encourage you to refer friends to the platform and encourage your friends to use the platform more importantly. These platforms are only as successful as the amount of people that use them. So adoption is key to the success and a key to obviously investor success as well. If we buy into this ICO, we want to know that there is incentivization for the users as well. So the uses of the coin, well, you can use it as a provider to access the premium features, as we said, for the subscription. It's also used as a loyalty token to reward the users who participate in the platform. So if you're giving reviews or you're doing other stuff, you will get rewarded for that. It's also a medium of value, and it allows providers to invoice their services in the CAN tokens. It's also a store of value. It will allow providers to retain payments in the CanYa wallet. So that's pretty much how it works. There's not much else to it. The white paper goes into it in a little bit more detail and depth, but now you sort of get the idea that they've got this app to put users and service providers together, but they're going to use the blockchain to ensure the immutability and trustless nature. So all very interesting. Let's see what they propose for the ICO. So their total supply is 100 million CAN tokens. The hard cap is set at 60 million CAN tokens. and there was a private sale already to strategic investors of 26 million CAN. So the public sale will be 34 million CAN in 2 stages. Currently 1 Ethereum at this current bonus stage with 20% bonus is equal to 1200 CAN, or 1 CAN equals 0.0083 of an Ethereum, or 36.5 cents. Now this was done when Ethereum was about $450 on the 30th of November, so that may have varied now. Again, always do your own due diligence and calculations. But if you buy 5,000 CAN, you can join the CAN Club. I don't know, it didn't really elaborate much on what the benefits were of joining the CAN Club. And CAN is an ERC20 Ethereum-based token. So this is what the ICO stages are. They have the Dolphin stage, which was the earlier stage with a 40% bonus, almost like a pre-sale stage, if you like. 14 million tokens were given out, 1,400 per Ethereum. Maximum hard cap was 10,000 Ethereum with a US dollar value of 2.5 million. Then another further 2 stages, one with a bonus of 20% and one with no bonus at all. And we can see the total raised from the crowd sale will be 34 million CAN tokens, which roughly equates to $7,333,333. The main sale will run for 30 days until sold out, and at the conclusion, all unsold tokens will be sent into the asset contract. The ICO is currently running, and they are currently in stage 1. So the total supply of tokens will be fixed, and it will be given out in the following manner. There will be 26% allocated to the private sale. There will be 20% sent straight to the reward pool. 20% will be founders and advisors, and those will be locked for 12 months. And there will be 34% for the public sale. So the reward pool is used by the platform to incentivize the users and discussed in detail further down the white paper. Well, we've talked about it already, so you should be aware that there are rewards for using the app, performing certain activities within the ecosystem. Now, the roadmap, in March 2018, they are looking to launch globally. They will perform Know Your Customer support centers in Europe, Southeast Asia, North America, China, and Australia. And they will allow fiat payment support with partner exchanges. In July 2018, they will have an in-app translation service, video calling, chatbot, advanced desktop features. October 2018, they will have advanced machine learning algorithms to smartly match the best providers with each job. And in December, they will have integrated features for users to assist with creation and arbitration if there's disputes. And in 2019, the first of the storage and compute decentralized aspects are integrated pending technology maturity. So as I mentioned earlier very briefly, they want to completely decentralize everything, including the computation and storage on a platform such as Sonam or Golem or whatever technology actually can allow that in the future. So what about the team itself? Well, there are 4 or 5 co-founders, all, I believe, ex-Royal Australian Air Force. There are 5 core team members. There are 8 tech team members, and there are 6 advisors. And most of the advisors have blockchain or small startup entrepreneurial experience. There's no real MVPs on the team, which is one thing that I noticed. No real heavy hitters that are working for massive fintech organizations or anything. So the team isn't the strongest. It looks competent. It isn't the strongest that I've revised through, but it's competent enough, I think, in what they want to do. There is a connection, as I mentioned, with the Royal Australian Air Force. I think 5 or 6 of them have been involved in the Air Force, so that's something to consider. Now, the partners, all I could find was the Salia Capital, which is an old company name. Apparently, I think it's been changed to CanYa Technologies, I believe. So this may be an old or a dual company name, I'm not sure. I couldn't find much information on the internet about this. There was another partner who they've got a written contract, signed contract with, called Purple Talk, and I went and visited their website, and they're a tech company from India. As it says here, their purpose is to build businesses that leverage technology creatively to solve some of the tough business problems. Each of our businesses and brands are geared towards enabling enterprises to innovate, build awesome products, and transform customer experiences. So they must have something to do, whether it's they're building some of the app or they're assisting, but they've got a contract with CanYa. So as for the community, their Telegram is quite small in comparison with other ICOs. They've only got 621 members on their official page. They are active on Facebook. They're very active on Twitter. They have a good YouTube channel with some short videos, and they also have an Instagram account. So to sum up, my positives that I took from the CanYa ICO, right? Well, they have a working app already being used, and I guess that's half the battle. Whether they've actually implemented the blockchain technology in it already, you know, they have the app and they have people using it, so it can't be too big a step to actually implement the blockchain to the CanYa platform. I think the app is a good idea. It solves a pain, a problem that is widely encountered by nearly everybody, in that where can I find a certain service provider for a job that I can't necessarily do myself or don't want to do it myself, and this app solves that problem, and it brings the cryptocurrency into it, which I think is also another good feature, which again in turn it rewards and incentivizes use. So by having a blockchain and crypto on it, if you use it, you give the reviews, you will get paid out. If you are a service provider, you'll also be incentivized to use the app as well. Not just because you'll get called upon to perform your services, but also you will get rewarded. It's a well-written and presented white paper. I thoroughly enjoyed reading through it. I really didn't need to do much dissemination of it other than cut and paste it onto the PowerPoint today. So very easy and clear and concise. And the other thing they don't have any competitors of note. They're pretty unique. They don't have any major companies that are out there trying to do the same thing. So it's very unique, and that's what I like about this. That it's almost like one of the earlier sort of internet companies, in that they're treading new ground. They're bringing they're solving a problem. They're bringing a new concept to an area where there are no other companies involved. And the other thing I liked about it is that token burns from the asset contracts will assist with the volatility of the crypto. And obviously, as a possible investor, if I buy some of the tokens, I want to know that their value, certainly in the medium and long term, is going to be increasing and not going to decrease with more tokens going back into circulation. So that is a good and well thought out plan, I think. As ever, there always are negatives, and here are some of them that I managed to think of while I was doing this review. The number one for me here is the team doesn't have any proven successes, in that they pretty much come out of the RAF, and this is a new business for them. They're fairly young. They look hungry for success. I will say that's a positive, but they have no proven track record. They haven't had a startup before and taken it to success and made millions of dollars. One of their advisors says he has, but again, he's not part of the core team. So I wish them the best of luck, certainly, but they don't have any proven success yet. And that's my major negative for this project. The second thing is, it could be quite overambitious for the future, planning to go into too many markets. I understand, when you start a business, I've started businesses before, there is a tendency to want to do everything right away, and that is it's quite difficult to manage, and it will encourage failure perhaps in many ways, because you have to concentrate on certain things. You can't spread your you can't put eggs, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, no, but you can't spread yourself too thin either. So it may be overambitious looking to go global before you're fully established in one area. My other concern was that Asia may not adopt this quickly, may not adopt it at all. Asia works in a different way from countries like Australia, the UK, Canada, New Zealand, America, and they don't necessarily recognize the value of these kind of things to get service providers. Service providers don't necessarily advertise in the same manner. So it may take a while for Asia itself to wake it up and use these kind of technologies, and it may not ever happen. Culturally, it's very different. The other thing is no plan B. It seems to this success of this ICO and the token further down the line is purely based on the adoption of this application. There isn't anything else behind the application that would allow it to be a success if the app fails. So that is it's a risk. In essence, it's a risk. My other negative was, is this an old pals act? We got 5 or 6 guys from the RAF in there. Do they all need to be in there? You know, I've watched the CEO on the videos. He looks quite well presented. He seems to know what he's talking about. What about the other guys? You know, do they all have a role to play within the company, or are they just there because they're mates of the boss? That was a concern of mine. You know, they always say don't do business with your friends. It's mostly always true. Another concern was who actually built the original app. Was it that Indian company they're partnered with? I'm not sure. I don't have time to dig deeper into it, to be honest with you. I could certainly ask the owners. I'm sure they'll respond to this this review in some way. You know, are they relying on them to build the blockchain tech behind it? I noticed they have got developers working for them. So, you know, who owns the technology here? Is this Indian company going to suddenly just start marketing their own app based on this CanYa? You know, so as an investor, you need to know these kind of things. So, to sum it up, my verdict is very interesting ideas, but can they implement? Now, I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 stars because I do think it's a worthwhile project. I think it's a unique idea that nobody else is doing. I have my misgivings. I've mentioned them already, but is it a good investment? I wouldn't say so for flipping. If you're looking to double your money off the ICO, I'm not sure that's necessarily going to happen. But certainly, you know, for the long term, if they can succeed in implementing the app and it gets adopted in Australia and maybe another couple of countries, or even globally, if they manage to get that far, then certainly this will pay off. But as I said, my main concern is the team have no proven success before, and adoption is the key to this succeeding. And if it doesn't get adopted, we fail at the first hurdle. So it's certainly an interesting app. It's very well presented, and I enjoyed doing this review. So if you liked it, please click like, please subscribe, please click on the bell icon so you get my notifications. As ever, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional by any means, standards of the imagination, and this is not financial advice. Always do your own research, do your due diligence before making any investments, and ICOs are certainly no guarantee of returns. Many ICOs fail, some succeed. It's up to you. You need to do your research. So thanks for watching, guys. As ever, I will return tomorrow with another video. If you want me to do anything, please leave a message in the comments below and I'll try and get round to it.